Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. NVIDIA daily update video. I just finished recording Tesla, but yeah, let's talk about NVIDIA stock today. Let's talk about what is happening with the stock down, of course, 1.6%. I'll give you my thoughts about this. Is it as bad as it's good? Is NVIDIA still bullish, bearish, etc.? And yeah, moving forward, what I think will happen next. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my analysis, technical analysis, thoughts, etc., I do have a YouTube membership section. The link is down below where I share these kind of thoughts. Every single day the market is open, pretty much live, as is trading, as I see these things happening. So you get them pretty much right away. If you're interested, link is below for just $3 a month. You get access to all that, mainly on Tesla. But I've been sharing actually a lot of other stocks recently, like AMD, TSM, Snapchat, Disney, Starbucks, etc. Or for $5 a month, you get access to the whole $3 tier, but also you get the bonus of NVIDIA updates daily, as it's trading, every day. If you're interested, link is below. We're pretty much at 300 members, so I would love to see you there as well. But jumping into it, NVIDIA again closing 1.6% in the red, which compared to the market is an underperformance. But is this bad news for NVIDIA? Is it bearish or is it bullish? Well, like I said just a couple of days ago, I do believe that it is getting a little bit toppy here, right? And it did, right? We did end up correcting a little bit down, about again closer to 2% since the high we had closer to 150. But is this bad? Is NVIDIA bearish? It's not. It's absolutely not bearish. Again, I want to make this very, very, very clear. The stock is not bearish. Despite me thinking that there are some toppy signals, which we did get a small little mini correction here, the stock is not bearish. There's two reasons why it's not bearish. Number one, and the most obvious one, we're not below the market bias. The market bias with my settings, you can see here, is green. As long as this remains green, and as long as NVIDIA does not go below the market bias in the super trend, which is this green kind of squiggly line, if you will, that's sort of following the market bias, as long as they're both green, NVIDIA is bullish. NVIDIA is bullish, and there's no question about that. But to make it even potentially more bullish, NVIDIA did what I wasn't sure if it would or would not do, but today it's showing so far promise. And what that was essentially, not only did it break above this range right here on this recent move last week, but it actually came back down today, and it actually held. It held this area that was a massive area of resistance, and it turned into support today. That's good. I want to see that continued support to come in. I want to see NVIDIA continuing to hold 145 to 144. As long as that continues to happen, as long as NVIDIA continues holding this level, it's extra bullish. Again, just because even if it loses this range, it's still bullish. It's just the correction might be a little bit more steeper, down to about 135, which is still bullish. It's just very short term. It would be bearish pretty much as we come back down to 135. But the ultra bull case scenario is we just hold this level. We hold 144, we hold 145, and we just simply do not go and close below that range. And it's so far today proving that it wants to potentially start doing that. We need to see a little bit more confirmation of that. I want to see more, like maybe tomorrow ideally, and ideally also Wednesday after CPI comes in. I want to see it, PPI and CPI Wednesday, Thursday. I want to see you continue holding this 144, 145 range. As long as that can continue to happen, the stock is extremely bullish. But again, if it doesn't, it's still bullish, just again, very short term, bearish as we come back down to retest 135 and the market bias, which is then, of course, it's still bullish, right? So hope that makes sense. Now, in terms of, where can it go from here, right? Okay, let's just say it holds 144 and 145. Where can it go from here? Well, the first range will be, very simply put, back up to about 150 and the top of this channel. If it breaks out of this channel and breaks 150 and starts holding above 150, it's even more bullish. It's even more bullish. So watch for that. I think that'll be the most important thing. Break above 150 and hold, extra bullish, and I'll give you the targets after that very soon. However, and that has to happen while maintaining, of course, above 144, 145. However, losing 144, 145 yields 135 roughly, which then I think it'll hold, and I think it'll then make its way back up higher to retest that 150s range again. And we'll see how that plays out. So one of these two things will happen. But ultimately, losing this range, though, will be very bearish. And of course, breaking above 150 and holding, very bullish. Now let's talk about the breakouts, right? Let's say it does break out. Let's say it does go above 145. 150, and it holds above 150. Because we're entering obviously, territory we've really never been at before. What's the next level to look at? Well, there's two ways to look at this. Number one, NVIDIA, like I said before, likes to move in $5 incremental levels. So for instance, if it does decide to break out, the next level will simply be about 155, simply put, because it likes to move in these $5 increments, like I said. The other option is using the Fibonacci extension. For instance, the reason I'm going to be using this is because you can see before this, my goodness, what is happening? Before we had this move up, right? We had this obviously, move to the downside to market bias, but as if that wasn't enough, which something I did admit I missed. We also had, of course, a beautiful retest of the 618 Fibonacci level and even the ultra sweet spot, which are these two green lines essentially around the 786 Fibonacci retracement. Beautiful, beautiful retest. And that's like very, very bullish. It held phenomenal risk versus reward right here, and it rocketed up, right? This is pretty much as good as it gets. Now, that's pretty much what you do for a Fibonacci retracement. Pretty much do the exact same thing, but this time you go from, again, all the way here, bam, and now this gives us a retracement. Like I said, the one retracement, which is around 148, which is roughly where we did stall out, is potentially the first major target. And this is potentially a scenario where, you know, NVIDIA can find difficulties, which it has been, and what can potentially give a little bit of weakness, which it has been, but potentially even further weakness as we potentially move our way back down to 135-ish to refuel. That is still a possibility. I want to make that very clear. But if we break above 150 and hold above 150, I would say the next target for NVIDIA will be closer to overall, probably, honestly, 160, which is that 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, which is this blue line up here. And I think NVIDIA will most likely head to that level if we start breaking above 150 and holding and closing above 150, and especially breaking out of this channel, which would be exceptionally bullish. And that's kind of my main overall target if that were to happen. So watch for that moving forward. There have been nice calls coming in on NVIDIA as well. But the reason I actually think I'm kind of bullish on semis here, which, you know, NVIDIA, AMD, and TSM, is because I think these stocks are actually getting ready to look move higher, essentially. For instance, you can see AMD, you know, it had, of course, a massive move down, but on this recent move to the downside today, it actually got almost exactly to that 618 retracement on the Fibonacci. As long as it holds around that level, I think AMD can actually look for further upside, and it's very oversold. And also TSM, which is a position I started today, is looking phenomenally bullish. This is probably my favorite semi play right now, right? Beautiful retest on the breakout of the flag. You can see here, nice little bull flag, nice little breakout, come back, retest, and I expect it to move higher from here, at the very least to about 220s, but my overall target for the bull flag will be 230. But it's looking pretty solid as it also holds market bias and, of course, that super trend level. So based on how the semis look, based on what they're looking like to me, with a nice bullish crossover on the stochastic retest today as well, the semis do look like they want to move up next. AMD, TSM, NVIDIA. If that's the case, I expect all three of them to make their way higher, because all three of them were, of course, red today. So again, nothing's perfect, and this plan can completely fall apart. I want to make that very, very clear. Absolutely can fall apart, but at the moment, based on the way they're looking, I do think that they're all three ready to move higher, with I think TSM being my highest conviction, followed by NVIDIA, and AMD is definitely the lower conviction because it is the only one of the three that is in a downtrend still. But even then, I think AMD can potentially make its way back up higher into about the low to mid 150s as well. But anyway, that's enough for the video. That's kind of what I'm expecting moving forward. So let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.